All right, hello everybody. It's your good friend Possible here, and I'm back in action with another look at a movie that came out more recently than a lot of the movies I've seen before, which reviews are coming soon. And that movie, of course, is Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. What can I really say about this movie? It's better than what they've done in the past, and that's not saying much, you know. One of the interesting things about this whole franchise is the fact that they could even make it this far. I've known movies tank and then just go away, but this movie, for some reason, the foreign market actually, but that doesn't matter. For some reason, just kept going and going and going, despite the fact that it really was done by the third movie, maybe even the fourth movie. This is, I counted the movies, I looked it up just before I did my review. There are 6 total movies from what I could tell. I keep getting confused because they're making Resident Evil 7. And so with the game Resident Evil 7 coming out, people have said this is the 7th one. It's only the 6th one. Feels like an eternity since 2002 when they made their first one, which was good. The first one was great. I loved the first one. I don't know about you, but it was okay. It wasn't a perfect movie, but it wasn't horrible. It just got worse, worse, and worse. And then finally, at the end, they got back into their stride. They had a story. They had interesting characters. They lacked the character definition, but you got to remember something. Many times it's hard to judge something on its own merits. You compare it to other things. Here we are at the last movie. It's hard not to compare it to the other movies in the franchise. And yeah, they were horrible. And yeah, this one was pretty good in comparison. The action was spot on. The story was kind of interesting. She's in the middle of nowhere. I forget where she is now, but she gets this message to go back to the hive and get the cure, basically. And so it's one big journey for her to get the cure to see if she can stop this once and for all. What really made this movie work were the twists. And the reason why the twists were there was because they changed what you already knew. They took the original Red Queen and they made her somebody else. I'm talking about the computer version and her basis and everything. They changed other things. But excuse me. You know what's funny? They also bring back Ian Glenn into this movie, and they even mention it because they're like, oh, how can you be back? I killed you. And it's funny that they do that because Ian Glenn, I forget what Resident Evil he was in. It was like either part 2 or part 3. But anyway, he was there. And it's like, you're just this British actor. You're good, but nobody really knows you. But now Game of Thrones comes out. You have a name. And it's like, okay, we need to bring you back. You can only imagine what happened. Because I remember now what happened in the beginning of this movie. It starts with the aftermath of whatever happened in Washington, D.C. To tell you the truth, I would have loved to have seen that. But Alice just basically breaks out of one of her containment units. Some weird thing that she was hanging over. A lot of people are gone. Ada Wong is gone. Chris Redfield gone. Leon Kennedy gone. All these people just disappeared. Claire is still around, even though there's no mention of her brother, Chris, but that's okay. You have a decent cast. You do have a lot of characters that are just, they're there. And yet you don't know their names. You don't know anything about them. And you do find out somewhere in the middle that there might be a mole somewhere in this movie, So they do a lot. They attempt, I should say, to try to add in points of interest and questions and, interest. So they keep it going by creating mystery, or at least I should say attempting to. As you can tell, this movie did not blow me away. It wasn't great. It wasn't even good. But it wasn't horrible, We've seen worse. We've seen better. Let's face it, Resident Evil, the final chapter is average. And I'm not even saying slightly above average or slightly below average. We're talking about somebody who hit the C mark right in the nose. Perfect average movie. Not bad, not great. Maybe for Halloween, pop it in. If you're trying to finish the series, go see it. If you just want to see a decent horror movie with some action to it, we're not talking about the greatest movies ever made, so hey, go see it. You'll enjoy it. All right, I think you'll like it. All right, guys, that's it for me for today. We'll see you at the movies.